My now ex-wife made up a fake affair between me and her sister to ruin both our reputations. But her sister had screenshots of every message proving it was all her idea. We took it all to court. I'm sitting in my car outside our house, hands shaking so bad I can barely hold the steering wheel. My phone screen is cracked from when I dropped it on the driveway. And I can't get her words out of my head. She said she knew everything. That she found the texts between me and her sister. That she's going to tell everyone I'm a cheating piece of trash. I felt the blood drain from my face as she stood there, eyes wild, waving printed screenshots in front of me. But the thing is, I never cheated. I never even came close. And the texts she's holding? I've never seen them before. That's when I realize something is very, very wrong. I stumble inside calling her name. She's nowhere. The house is eerily quiet. Our wedding photo sits crooked on the wall, glass cracked like my phone. There's a note on the kitchen counter. Just one line. You'll get what you deserve. I sink into a chair trying to process. What does she mean? What did I do? My head is spinning. That's when her sister Hannah calls me. She's crying so hard I can barely understand her. She says my wife told her I confessed we'd been sleeping together. That I told her I loved her more than my wife. Hannah says she almost believed it, until she looked at the screenshots and realized they were stitched together from different conversations. Some parts were real, but most of it was fake. My mind is reeling. I'm supposed to be at work in an hour. But how can I show my face when my wife is out there telling everyone I'm a cheating scumbag? My phone won't stop vibrating. Friends, family, my boss, people asking if it's true. How could you do this? How could you betray her like that? I don't even know what to say. That night I barely sleep. I keep replaying every fight, every odd comment, every time she asked me if I thought Hannah was pretty. Was this her plan all along? Or did something snap recently? I call Hannah again the next morning. She's terrified. My wife threatened her too, said she'd ruin her life if she didn't play along. But Hannah won't do it. She sends me every message she's gotten from my wife over the past month. It's all there. My wife coaching her on what to say, telling her to act shocked, telling her exactly how to cry, how to make it convincing. I'm nauseous. I never thought my wife was capable of this. I don't recognize the woman in those messages. And the worst part? People are already picking sides. Some of our mutual friends block me. Some send me threats. I don't know who believes me and who doesn't. I feel like I'm drowning. Hannah says she wants to go to the police. I don't know if that's a good idea yet. I tell her to wait until we have everything together. I start collecting every text, every email, every shred of evidence that proves I never said those things. Every detail matters now. A week goes by in a blur. I take time off work. I barely leave the house. Every time I check social media, there's a new post hinting at what a monster I am. Someone even posted my face with the word cheater across it in red letters. It feels like a nightmare I can't wake up from. One night Hannah shows up at my door. She looks exhausted but determined. She has a flash drive with hundreds of screenshots. Messages, voice notes, everything. It's all there. Proof my wife planned the whole thing. Proof she made up the affair. Proof she wanted to destroy both of us so no one would ever look at her the same way again. I sit on the floor with Hannah for hours, reading every word. My heart breaks over and over. There's a message where my wife says she'll never see it coming. Neither will he. I'll bury them both. And one where she says this is what happens when you don't love me enough. I feel like throwing up. I can't decide what's worse, the betrayal or realizing how little I knew the person I married. How could she fake something so vile, so cruel? How could I miss the signs? I call my best friend Mark. He's the only one who's still willing to hear me out. He comes over, reads everything and says we're taking this to a lawyer. I don't care how messy it gets. She can't get away with this. My wife is still posting online, telling everyone I'm harassing her and Hannah. That I'm dangerous. That I'm stalking them. I've barely left my couch. She even made a video with tears streaming down her face, saying I threatened to kill her if she told anyone. It's like watching someone else's life implode. I file for divorce the next morning. My lawyer says we'll need every bit of evidence Hannah has. Hannah agrees to testify if it comes to that. She's just as determined to clear her name as I am. We decide to go no contact with my wife until the court hearing. My lawyer sends a formal notice. That same day my wife tries to show up at my workplace. Security turns her away. She leaves a note on my car windshield. It says you're dead to me. And soon you'll be dead to everyone else too. I can't sleep. I'm afraid she'll break in. I buy cameras for every door and window. I leave lights on all night. I keep a bat by my bed. Meanwhile Hannah is getting harassed too. My wife told their parents Hannah slept with me. Their parents are furious with both of us. They won't even answer Hannah's calls. She's devastated. I hear her sobbing on the phone every night. I tell her we'll prove the truth, that we just need to hang on. But I don't know how much longer either of us can take this. Then one morning Hannah sends me a message. She found something huge, a voice note my wife accidentally left on her phone. In it, my wife is laughing with someone, sounds like her friend, and she says I can't believe they're both falling for it. They'll never recover. My hands are trembling as I play it over and over. This is the smoking gun. This is what we needed. I send it straight to my lawyer. I don't leave my apartment for days after hearing that voice note. I keep the blinds closed. Every time I hear a car door slam outside, I jump. I know it sounds paranoid, but I can't shake the feeling she's watching. Or waiting. I don't even trust my phone anymore. I'm sure she's still trying to find a way to twist everything. Hannah's barely hanging on. She hasn't been to work since this started. Her friends are ghosting her, afraid to get dragged into the drama. The only time I hear her sound calm is when we talk. It's like we're the only ones keeping each other sane. My lawyer says the voice note changes everything. It's not just slander now, it's proof of malicious intent. He recommends we file a restraining order immediately. Hannah agrees. The day we submit the paperwork, I feel like I can finally breathe again. But that night, someone eggs my car. Splatters the windshield with yolk and shells. Smears something across the hood that smells like rotten meat. I don't see who does it, but I know who's behind it. I tell Hannah. She says she found threatening DMs from fake accounts calling her a homewrecker, telling her to kill herself. We both know who's sending them. My wife is relentless. She's burning everything to the ground because she can't control the story anymore. The day of our first court hearing comes. My stomach is in knots as I walk into that building. Hannah's there already, sitting in a hallway chair, hands shaking in her lap. We don't hug. It would just feed the rumors. We nod at each other. Silent agreement. We're in this together. When my wife arrives, she's wearing all black, sunglasses on indoors. Like she's at a funeral. Like she's mourning something. She sits as far from us as she can, but I can feel her eyes on me. Burning holes through the side of my face. The judge listens patiently as our lawyers present the screenshots, the messages, the voice note. My wife's lawyer looks like he's realizing what a mistake he made taking this case. The judge's expression goes from neutral to incredulous as the evidence stacks up. By the time we play the voice recording, the courtroom is dead silent. Then it's her turn. My wife stands, hands clasped, voice trembling. She says she's the real victim. That we're gaslighting her. That we faked the screenshots. That we edited the voice note. She starts crying. Loud, ugly sobs that echo off the courtroom walls. The judge stops her. Asks her if she has any evidence to support her claims. She says she has witnesses. But when pressed, she can't name any. The judge looks tired. Like he's seen this too many times before. I don't know what I expected, but I still feel sick watching it unfold. This was the woman I promised forever to. The one I thought I'd grow old with. Now I'm watching her lie, destroy, unravel. After the hearing, my lawyer says we've made real progress. The judge granted a temporary restraining order. A full hearing will decide the final order. My wife has to stay away from both of us until then. I finally sleep a full night for the first time in weeks. But it's not over. Not even close. The next morning, my sister calls me in a panic. Someone posted flyers around her neighborhood saying I'm a predator. That I go after young girls. That I used my wife's sister as my latest victim. There's a grainy picture of me stapled to every pole. My sister's kids are asking questions. My parents call, furious and confused. I know who did it. But I can't prove it yet. Hannah's apartment gets vandalized 2 days later. Someone throws a brick through her window. Leaves a note taped to it that says slut. The police write a report, but there's not much they can do without video or witnesses. Hannah's shaking so bad she can't hold her phone. I beg her to stay with friends. She refuses. She says she won't let my wife drive her out of her own home. I don't know how she's staying so strong. I feel like I'm falling apart. Then a miracle happens. One of Hannah's friends reaches out. She says my wife tried to recruit her too, wanted her to pretend she saw me and Hannah together. She refused. But she kept the messages. Another pile of evidence. Another piece of the puzzle proving the whole thing was a setup. Our lawyer says it's time to file for defamation, harassment, and emotional damages. He says we have enough to build a case that could bury her financially and legally. I hesitate. It feels cruel. But then I remember the brick. The flyers. The death threats. And I realize there's no other way. Word starts spreading among our old friend group. Screenshots of the real messages leak. People who blocked me start unblocking me. Some apologize. Some don't. Some just pretend they never picked a side at all. It's surreal watching opinions flip overnight. Meanwhile, my wife posts another video online. She says the system is rigged against her. That men like me always win. That the truth will come out someday. Her face looks different now. Harder. Angrier. Like she knows the walls are closing in. Our final hearing gets scheduled. I spend every day leading up to it organizing the evidence with Hannah and our lawyer. Late nights. Early mornings. Red eyes. I keep thinking about the first time I met my wife. How she smiled at me across a crowded bar. How she said I was the best thing that ever happened to her. How did we get here? The night before court, I dream she's standing over me while I sleep, whispering you'll never escape me. I wake up drenched in sweat. But there's a calm under the fear. A certainty. Because tomorrow we'll finally have our say. The courthouse feels colder this time. The fluorescent lights hum overhead as Hannah and I wait in the hallway, files clutched to our chests. Neither of us talks much. Every time the doors open, I flinch, half expecting her to appear out of nowhere. When my wife finally arrives, she doesn't look the same. Her hair's disheveled, makeup smudged like she's been crying for hours. She avoids eye contact with me, but I can feel her rage radiating across the room. The courtroom fills up fast. People I don't recognize, maybe curious onlookers, maybe friends she brought for backup. My lawyer leans over and whispers that the judge we drew has a reputation for cutting through drama. That should be good for us. The bailiff calls the case. We stand. My legs feel like they're made of lead. My wife's lawyer starts with a dramatic monologue about how I preyed on a vulnerable woman, her sister, and how my manipulation destroyed an entire family. He hands over printouts of messages. I almost laugh when I realize they're the same doctored screenshots we've already disproved. Then it's our turn. My lawyer lays everything out. The manipulated texts, the voice recording, the messages from Hannah's friend who was approached to join the scheme. He shows the restraining order violations. The brick. The flyers. He plays the audio of my wife bragging about how we'd never recover. Each time a piece of evidence drops, I feel lighter. Like someone's slowly cutting chains off my chest. The judge's face never changes. He's stone. Unreadable. When everything is presented, he asks my wife to respond directly. She starts sobbing again. Says we're making it up. That we edited everything. That Hannah's lying because she's obsessed with me. The judge interrupts her, voice sharp like a whip. He asks how dozens of messages, audio recordings, and multiple witnesses could all be fake. She stammers. Starts repeating herself. Then she blurts that Hannah was the mastermind, that Hannah wanted me all along. I glance at Hannah. She looks like she's been slapped. The judge calls a brief recess. My lawyer tells me that outburst just sunk her case deeper. She contradicted her own past statements. The courtroom is buzzing now, people whispering. Some shake their heads. Others stare like they can't believe what they're watching. When we reconvene, the judge is blunt. He says the evidence clearly shows intentional fabrication and harassment. He grants a permanent restraining order for both Hannah and me. He rules that my wife pay restitution for damages, legal fees, and therapy costs. He refers her for criminal investigation on charges of defamation, false reporting, and stalking. My wife's mouth falls open. She looks around the courtroom like she's trying to find someone who will save her. There's no one. The bailiff escorts her out while she's still sobbing. The slam of the courtroom door behind her echoes like a gunshot. I don't cry. I thought I might. But instead I just feel empty. Hollowed out. Hannah puts a hand on my shoulder and we sit there in silence long after everyone else has left. It's over. At least the worst part. In the weeks that follow, things slowly begin to untangle. My work takes me back. My friends start reaching out again. My family apologizes for ever doubting me. Hannah's parents meet with her. When they see the evidence for themselves, they break down in tears. They hug her. They hug me. They promise to stand by her from now on. But it's not like a switch flips and everything's fine. I still check over my shoulder when I walk to my car. I still wake up some nights gasping from nightmares of her voice in the dark. I keep the cameras up around my apartment. Hannah and I talk every day, sometimes to check in, sometimes just to remind each other we're not alone. 3 months later, the district attorney files criminal charges. My lawyer calls me to say my wife took a plea deal. She admitted to falsifying evidence, harassment, and lying under oath. She'll serve probation and mandatory counseling. I don't know if she'll ever truly understand what she did, but knowing the law recognized what happened feels like a piece of justice. Hannah starts therapy. She gets a new job. We meet up once a week. We don't talk about the trial much. We mostly talk about silly things, movies, books, life. There's a quiet comfort in that. In knowing we both survived. People sometimes ask if I'll ever date again. The honest answer is I don't know. The idea of letting someone that close terrifies me. But I want to believe there's still good out there. That what happened doesn't define who I am forever. The biggest lesson I've taken away is this. Someone can look you in the eyes every day, say they love you, and still be planning your destruction behind your back. But it doesn't mean everyone will. It doesn't mean you stop trusting forever. It means you learn. You grow. You set boundaries you never knew you needed. This story cost me so much: peace, time, relationships. But it also showed me who truly had my back when everything went to hell. It taught me that sometimes, the people who matter most are the ones who stand with you when you're covered in the wreckage, helping you dig out piece by piece. And to anyone reading this who's going through something similar, don't give up. Document everything. Tell the truth. The lies may seem louder at first, but the truth has a way of rising up when you keep fighting. I'm not the same person I was before this started. But for the first time in what feels like forever, I can breathe. I can walk outside without feeling like I'm being hunted. I can look in the mirror and know I didn't do the things I was accused of. That's what matters most. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more jaw-dropping true stories and ex-confessions. I share real, messy, and emotional stories every day, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Click the bell so you never miss an update. Let's navigate these crazy twists and turns together.